Hello and welcome to this session. So today we are going to start learning Python programming in a very easy and basic way. And Python is in fact very easy, and in a moment I will show you how easy Python can be, and we will go very basic step by step and learn some very basic operations in Python. So let us start, and I will go to my PyCharm. You can use PyCharm or any other Python IDE, and I will create a Python file. So I will go to new and create a Python file, and I will name this as Python basics part 1 and say OK. So this is the area where we can start our Python programming and write Python scripts. So the very first thing is, let us look at the basics, and in Python you can use print and print anything on the console or on command line. So I am saying print, and I will say hello world, and I will do a right click, run Python basics 1, and it has printed hello world. So this is how you can just print anything on the screen. And let us now see variables. So in Python you can give any variable name and just say x. So x is a variable name and you can give any value. So I'm saying x equals 5, and I'm saying y equals automation, and then I will just print. I will say print x, and I will say print y. And if I run this now, so it has printed 5 and automation, and you can see how easy and straightforward it is. You do not have to give any data type or any kind of rigid syntax. Even if you do not give any semicolon at the end, everything is okay. The only thing that you should take care is variables are case sensitive, so you have to take care of this. And in variable naming, you should use either letters, lowercase letters from A to Z, or you can use underscore, or you can use numbers from 0 to 9. So this is what you can use in the namings for variables, and of course you should always start with a letter or an underscore, and then you can always use numbers also in the names of variables. So this is the best practice in Python that you should follow. And also you can use something like will say print, I will say hello, and I will give a plus, which is a concatenation operation in Python, and I can just give the variable y. So I'm saying hello, and then I'm concatenating and giving the variable y here. And if I run this now, you can see it is printing hello automation. And also you can use something like I can say x equals 10, y equals 20, and then I can just print. So I will say print x plus y, and if I run this now, it is printing 30, which is the result of x plus y. So you can do these kind of operations as well. And also you can see that earlier I had given x equals 5 and y equals automation, and here I have changed the values. So you can change the values like this for the earlier existing variables as well. Let us look at the syntax. Now in Python, the syntax is important. If you are creating any block, for example, I am creating a if block, and I say if 10 is greater than 5, then you have to give a colon here, and if you press enter, you can see it has taken 5 spaces or a tab space, and everything that I will write with this tabbed space will be a part of this if block. So here I can say print 10 is greater than 5, and if I run this now, it is printing 10 is greater than 5. So if I do not give this space and I try to run this, it will throw an error. So this is indentation error. So that is why this syntax and indentation is very important, and whatever you write with this indentation will be a part of this particular block. And you can also write functions in Python, and for that you can use the keyword def, and you can give any function name. So I'm saying the function name is sum, and in the brackets you can get some arguments. So I'm saying a and b, 2 arguments, and again I will give a colon and enter, and you should see that you have a tabbed space, and whatever you write with this tabbed space will be a part of the function, and I'm saying here print a plus b, and to call this function I can just call this sum, and I can also store it in a variable. So I'm saying x equals sum, and I will provide the value 20 and 30. So 20 value should go to a, 30 value should go to b, and then it should print a plus b, which is the sum of 20 and 30. If I run this now, it is printing 50. So this is how you can also use functions in Python. Of course, in the coming parts we will see more deeply how to use classes, function and objects, so you can learn more deeply into those coming parts. Let us see how to run from command line. So you can go to the command line and run this Python file. So you can save this Python file, and I will copy the location of this file. So I will say copy path and go to my command line. If you are on Mac, you can go to your terminal, and the very first thing I will do is change the location to the folder containing this Python file. So I will go to this location, and here now I can say Python, and I will just use the name of the file. So this is python basics.py, and I will hit enter, and it is running the Python file, and you can see the same output here as well. So this is how you can run from command line. Also, if you want to add comments, you can use a hash symbol like this, and whenever you will put a hash symbol, that will be converted into a comment. If you want to comment some particular existing statements, you can just select this and press Control and forward slash on your keyboard, or command and forward slash if you are on Mac, and this will convert into a comment. If you want to comment multiple lines, you can select multiple lines and again press Control and forward slash, that will convert into a comment. And if you want to uncomment, you can again press Control and forward slash, that will uncomment that particular selection. So this is how you can use comments in Python. Let us quickly look at some number operations. So in Python, you can say x equals 10, y equals 20. So this will just assign the value to this particular variable, and you do not have to give the data type or anything. For example, I can say x equals 5, and I can say y equals 2.5, and then I can say z equals 4j. Now this is an integer, this is a float, and this is a complex number. However, in Python you do not have to give the data type, it will take by itself. But if you want to print the data type, you can say print, and then you can use the function type and give the variable name. So I want to see what is the type of x. I will say print type x, and I will copy this and print for y and z as well. So here I will say y, and here I will say z. So let us run this now and see what happens. So you can see it has printed the data type, or the type for x is int, for y it is float, and for z it is complex. So this is how you can see the type for your variables, and you can also do some casting. So let us see how we can do casting. So I'm saying here x equals, and I will explicitly say this is int, and I can use int here, and I will give the value 2. Now here this will be stored as 2 because this is an integer. If I say y equals int, and I say this is 2.5, now this will be stored again as 2 because we are explicitly converting it into an integer. So 2.5 is actually a float, but it will convert into an integer and stored as 2. Similarly, I can say z equals float, and if I say this is 1, this will be stored not as 1 but 1.0 because this is, we are changing it into a float. And similarly, if I say p equals, and I say str, which is for string, and I say 10, now this is again going to be stored as a string, which will be stored like this as a string. So if I want to print this, let us try to print this. I will print x, and I will copy this and print all the other values Here I will print Y, here I will print Z, and then I will print P. Let us try to run this now. You can see it has printed 2 as we have expected, then it has again printed 2 which was 2.5 as we have expected. Float, which was we have given 1, is stored as 1.0, and this 10 is stored as string. So here it is just showing 10, but it is actually a string. If you try to do any numerical operation like p plus x, it will throw an error. So this is how you can use numbers. Let us also see some string operations in Python. So here I will say x equals hello world. Now I can just print it. I will say print and I will say x, and if I print this now, if I run this now, you can see it is printing our string hello world. Now I can also say print x, and I can give a square brackets and give the index position for any character. So I am saying print the index or print the character at index position 1. So see, the index starts with 0, so h is at 0 index, e is at 1 index. So if I run this now, it is printing e which is at index position 1. So this is how you can print some particular character. You can also print some group. For example, I say print from 6th to 11th character, and if I run this now, it is printing world which is from starting from character number 6, index position 6 until index position 8, index position 11. So this is how you can print the string or substrings. Then you can also get the length of this variable. I can say, I can use the function len and say length of x and run this. So it is printing the length of x which is 13. And then you can also convert and print into lowercase or uppercase. For that you can just say x dot lower, and if I run this now, it will convert into lowercase and print this. Similarly, I can say x dot upper, and then it will print everything into an uppercase. You can also do a strip. Suppose there are some spaces in the starting and at the end of this string, and if I just print x now and run this, you can see it has printed with all the starting and ending spaces. However, I can say x dot strip, and if I run this now, you can see it has stripped all the spaces at starting and end. It has printed hello world. So this is how you can use the strip function. You can also use the replace function. For example, you can say x dot replace, and I want to replace e with a. So wherever it will find the occurrence of e in the string, it will replace with a. If I run this now, you can see it has replaced e with an a and has printed the string. You can also split your string. For example, you can say x dot split, and you can give the character with which you want to split. For example, if there is a comma and I say split with comma here, if you run this now, you can see it has split it, and it has created two strings and it has split it wherever there was a comma. So this is how you can split your string as well. Let us look at the input function in Python. So in Python you can actually take an input from the user. For example, I will say print enter your name, and then I will say I will have a variable x, and here I will say use the function input. So it will take an input, and whatever input it will get, it will store into x, and then I will print, I will say hello, and then whatever the value of x is. So this is how you can take the input. If I run this now, you can see it is asking us for our input. I will give the name here and say enter, and it is saying hello Raghav. Of course you can do it from command line. So if I go to command line and let me clear the screen and I will run this Python file. So it is asking for the name or input. I will say Raghav, and if I say enter, it is saying hello Raghav. So this is how you can use all these basic operations in Python. In the next coming parts of Python, we will go more deeper and learn classes, functions, and objects and many other things in Python. I hope this session was very useful for you. Thank you for watching.